few weeks ago, I was invited by the, I think, Chartered Institute of Risk Management, something of nice, some international conference. And I was asked to come and give a keynote. And the theme of the conference was Emerging Crisis in Africa, the Way Forward. And when I read this thing, I said, this Oyinbo is very plenty. I sought clarification. I asked questions. I was like, Nweke said he asks and asks and asks questions. And I needed to understand the context in which I was expected to speak. And they said to me, there's a lot of crises. Climate crisis, there's banditry, there's inflation, there's armed robbery, there's corruption, there's all sorts of things. And these were the crises that they envisaged were facing Africa. And I smiled. I said, this is not. Anyway, to cut the story short, when I reflected on my speech, on my keynote, I was convinced that yes, these crises that have been named, as far as I'm concerned, are secondary crises. They're secondary. Ask me why? Because, as far as I'm concerned, the greatest risk, the greatest challenge, the greatest risk to Africa is its political leadership. That's what the greatest risk to Africa is. Because if you have the right leaders with the right knowledge, who have the discipline, who have the capacity, who have the character, then they begin to apply their minds to how to resolve even the climate crisis before it emerges, or if it has emerged, the best way to resolve it. Such leaders, so characterized, will be the ones to begin to say, okay, how do we begin to work our way out of the economic crisis that confronts us, out of the inflation that confronts us? How do we deal with issues of corruption? So you need the right political leadership to make this happen. And I concluded by telling them that as far as I'm concerned, no nation can develop by accident. No nation has ever developed by accident. The new and the old, or the old and the new civilizations that we strive to be like, they were built by visionaries. They were not built by mediocres. They were not built by kleptomaniacs. People with an insatiable appetite for things that don't belong to them. People who blatantly betray the public trust at every opportunity. They were not built by ethnic or religious bigots. They were built by men and women who understood what it means or what it meant to serve. All they were concerned about was and continues to be the welfare and the well-being of their people and the place of their countries under the sun. Those are the people that built these countries. And every nation that has made progress on the basis of what I've just shared with you. And that is how it is going to continue to be. And now you see the connection between what I've just said. And this is the reason, the anchor for the establishment of fixed politics, the foundation of SPPG was anchored on this understanding and this desire to say, what is the place of Nigeria under the sun? How can we, so endowed, continue to really underperform our capacity? What must we do to really help to bring about the kind of leadership, the kind of improvements we want to see in governance in our country? This was what birthed fixed politics. This was what birthed the School of Politics, Policies, and Governance. And my last word is a quote, a book I read sometime. I think it's titled The Al Maktoum Legacy. The Al Maktoum Legacy. And it's one of series of books that have been written by the founder, Mohammed Al Maktoum, the Prime Minister and the founder of Dubai. He said something. Somebody asked him, why are you people so obsessed with development? Why do you invest so much in human capital? Why do you really want to go ahead of the world? They seem so desperate. They seem so determined all the time to create the best of everything. And he said, listen, he said, every day in Africa, the gazelle wakes up knowing that it must outrun the fastest lion in order to survive. And he said the same way, the lion awakes and stretches, knowing that it must outpace the fastest gazelle in order to what? Not to starve and to survive. Nobody, no nation is going to wait for Nigeria. No other continent would wait for Africa. Nobody. It is our responsibility to provide, to nurture the leadership required to fix our nations and to fix our continent. And the entire investment that has been made in you, the vision of our founder and chair, the entire investment by all the people behind the scenes is anchored on this reality, on this realization. So it's been an excellent graduation ceremony. It's good to see all of you extremely joyful. I congratulate you. It was good to watch some of you display the latest dance steps. It's very nice. But there's a lot of work ahead of us. And I'd like to ask you on behalf of my colleagues, can we rely on you? Can this continent rely on you? Can Nigeria rely on you? Don't let us down. Thank you.